Hey guys, it's Appleminte. Welcome back again to my channel, and happy fall, aka the best season. I guess technically the first day of fall was last week, which actually is one day off from my birthday, and I'm always a little miffed that my birthday was not the first day of fall. I miss it by like a day. Anyway, for today's video, I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about commissions. You might remember, I think it was last year or the year before, I did a video about making money with commissions and how to sell your art online, and I will link that video for you in case you would like to go watch it. I had some different tips and tricks on how to do that and go about that, because, you know, who doesn't want to make money, right? But for today's video, I wanted to talk a little bit more about a specific website that I was put in contact with. They reached out to me. Their name is Artistry, and I honestly really stand behind the concept of their website and everything that they're trying to do. So I really wanted to talk a little bit about it with you, and also just share some more of my own personal stories and things with taking commissions and, you know, getting started with making money on your art. So if you are interested in that, I would ask you to stick around and give a like to the video if you are enjoying it. I would really appreciate that because the YouTube algorithm likes that these days. So let's begin with the basics. What are commissions? How do they work? I'm sure most of you guys know this, but you know, I'm going to give a brief little rundown. And basically, a commission is when a customer pays an artist to create a custom piece of work for them that is tailored to whatever they want. And it can take many forms. It doesn't just have to be a drawn piece of artwork. It could be sculptures, different kinds of crafts. You can do music commissions. As long as you're creating something for someone and they pay you to do it, it's a commission. So typically an artist will have their own guidelines on what they will and they won't create. So, you know, you could say, I'm not going to draw anything with robots and mechas and things like that, because, you know, if you know you're not good at that, why would you offer that? So up front, you kind of tell people what you will do, what you're not comfortable doing, and set your own guidelines, set your prices for your different types of things that you want to offer. But in my experience with commissions, I started taking them back when I made a DeviantArt account, all the way back in 2011. So that makes me feel pretty old. That was 11 years ago. And that was my main platform that I had used to share my artwork and get it out there. And my hope and goal was always to get, you know, more attention for my art and make some more money off of it. And back then my prices were pretty low. My highest priced thing was a full drawing of a character for 12 bucks, right? So, you know, I based my prices off skill level, how long it'll take me to do the piece, materials, if that's applicable, and just the amount of detail. If they have something super, super detailed, obviously I'm going to charge a little bit extra money. But yeah, back then I was using DeviantArt, and it wasn't always the easiest. I was doing most of my commission taking through my DMs there, so it was a little disorganized for me. And also back then I didn't really have a great concept of how to make sure I was getting paid and making my money and making sure people weren't scamming me. So that is where Artistry comes in. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about this amazing service and this website. They're a very new website. I'd love to help them get the word out there about their company. I would hope you guys would check it out, because honestly, it's a really great concept. Because when you think of artists taking commissions, you know, it can be difficult. There's a lot of websites out there like Coffee, for example, or Fiverr, you know, places where artists can get themselves out there, but all these websites take a cut of what the artist makes for themselves. So Artistry is not like that, but I will get a little bit more into that in a minute. But they do allow the artist to keep 100% of what they charge for themselves, which is very nice. They also focus on helping artists have that security and trust in taking commissions, you know, keeping organized and making sure they get paid and they don't get scammed by people. So, I mean, I'm going to go over all these details in a moment, but I honestly wish something like this existed back when I started taking commissions, because, you know, I kind of had to figure a lot of it out myself. Anyway, the first thing I'm going to talk a bit about is how you can make your full amount of money from what you charge. So say you charge $100 for your commission piece, you're going to keep $100. You don't have to pay a chunk of that toward website fees like most other websites like Fiverr and Coffee do. So for example, with a site like Coffee, they take not only transaction fees from the artist, but they also do take a commission fee from the artist. And even if you have Coffee Gold, which is like their little membership program, you still end up paying the transaction fees as the artist. So regardless, you're losing money to their fees. And there's a 6.5% fee that is charged in addition to whatever the artist sets their price at. So the artist gets to keep their portion of the money, and the 6.5% additional fee is charged to the customer. A large portion of that, though, goes toward paying the processing fees and transaction fees that are involved in payments on every website. And the other portion actually goes, some of it goes toward the website, but a portion goes toward donating to plant a tree, which is also something that Artistry does as part of their mission. With every sale, they plant a tree. So you're actually helping the environment. And I really appreciate that because, you know, it gives the sense that they're trying to create long-lasting change that extends just beyond us. And in terms of security, I did want to go over that a little bit, you know, making the artist feel safe and decreasing the chance of being scammed, because with Artistry, they handle the transactions on, you know, through their site. You don't have to go through your Instagram DMs or through emails, and, you know, things are kind of messy. So I'll show you a little bit about how it looks when you're putting together a commission. But, you know, everything that goes on is documented. So your conversation with your client is documented there, and you've got timestamps of everything throughout the process. If you send some progress pictures or, you know, and the customer approves it and you go back and forth, all of that's documented on the website. This provides a lot of protection for the artist. And it's especially important for things that are called a chargeback, which, if you don't know what that is when a customer requests a refund with a credit card payment. And sometimes people suck and they file chargebacks on purpose when they shouldn't be. So I've had this happen to me before with my online store, actually. Someone purchased things from me. I sent them the items. I shipped them out. They got the items. They were marked as delivered. But the person claims that, you know, they never got them. They filed the chargeback, and I lost my money as well as being charged a fine. And these are very hard to fight sometimes. You need to have a lot of proof in order to prove that it was a wrongful chargeback. And so Artistry handling a lot of this stuff and keeping records with the commission forms is very helpful in this process to help keep you protected. And another risk that they're helping to circumvent is if you're an artist that takes payments through PayPal, you might see artists charge clients an extra percentage on the base price to cover the PayPal transaction fees. This is known as a surcharge, and it's actually against PayPal's terms of service. You don't have to worry about that with Artistry since you're not getting charged any extra fees. So I want to talk a little bit about how the commission process works on the website. I'm sure you're interested in hearing that. So what happens is the customer will fill out a commission form for the artist. They'll talk a little bit about what they want, and they can upload up to 5 different reference images. And they're going to get a link, and the seller will get an email submission about the request coming through. So it's very easy to keep track of. And the seller can decide whether they want to decline or accept the work based on what the customer is looking for. And once accepted, the status of the project will turn to awaiting payment. So at this point, the price can be changed at any point before the client actually pays, allowing the artist to set the price accordingly to what they would like to charge for the work, depending on the amount of detail or whatever other details they want to focus on. Messages and photos can also be sent to the client, so this is great for sharing progress pictures or idea sketches or just messages for feedback going back and forth throughout the process. And the client can also approve and request changes to the work for the in-progress images and discuss, you know, what they want changed if desired. Like I said, there's timestamps on everything, which are used as records and proof in case there are issues later down the line. And once the final artwork is submitted, the client can accept it and receive a download link. If it is something that, you know, they want to download, they can. And the images are stored forever on Artistry, so they can be accessed by the artist or the client at any time that they wish. And yeah, it's a pretty simple process, honestly. They also have another version of this you can do to handle things off the platform, where the artist creates an invoice rather than the customer making a form and contacting the artist. Artistry also has a dashboard that automatically updates based on the status of your commissions. So a lot of artists use a website called Trello, you might have heard of it, to stay organized with their commissions. I've used it in the past, but again, it's another thing to manage. You know, there's multiple things to manage. You manage your payment platform and where you're taking DMs and things, and then you've got this. So Artistry really combines everything so that you don't have to feel like everything's all over the place and disorganized, and it's just much easier to use and to keep track of this way. And like I said, I wish something like this existed back in the day when I was starting to take commissions. I mean, there are plenty of ways to make money with your art, but I think a lot of artists start with commissions because it's a great way to start putting yourself out there, start figuring out what your stuff is worth, and it's a good way to make money on the side, and it can build into something where you are doing it as a freelance artist in the future. So I would recommend Artistry for anybody who not only already takes commissions, but I would also recommend it to anybody who wants to get started. For example, maybe you're overwhelmed by the process, you know, maybe you're not sure where to begin. I think that this is a great website to start right off the bat, and you know, it's worth giving a look. I think you have absolutely nothing to lose. So I really thank Artistry for creating this platform and putting the artist first. Check out Artistry. Thank you again. They actually sponsored today's video, but I support this website regardless. These are all my opinions, so I highly request you to go check them out. So as always, I have that link and all of my links in the description box below. The link to my online store, Patreon, Pin Club, Discord server, and Instagram are all there. So thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I hope it was helpful and interesting, and I will see you all next Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern time. As always, have a good weekend. Bye bye.